At this time 3 years ago, the world was watching in horror as Russia invaded Ukraine, staged a sham referendum in Crimea, and annexed the territory a few days later. It was a shocking violation of what we understood to be a fundamental principle of our international order, that borders are not to be changed by force. Vladimir Putin followed this illegal act with another assault on Ukraine in the Donbass region. This region's conflict continues to claim lives and drive people from their homes. This issue isn't an abstraction to Canadians. With 125 years of Ukrainian immigration to our country, our nation and our people are intimately connected to Ukraine. My riding of Edmonton-Griesbach is home to a large part of Edmonton's Ukrainian community. And events on the other side of the world resonate deeply for the people I represent. 2 weeks ago, this Liberal government announced that they were extending Operation UNIFIER, Canada's military training mission, to Ukraine. For nearly 2 years, about 200 Canadian Armed Forces members have been deployed to Western Ukraine. They provided training in explosive ordnance disposal, flight safety, logistics system modernization, military policing, and medical training. That mission would have expired on March 31st. But this government's announcement to extend the mission came at the very last minute. That delay was an act of disrespect, I believe. Ukrainians are putting their lives on the line for the freedom and independence of their country, and they need the help of Canada. I'm in favor of the proposed extension of this mission, but I'd like to see it expanded. I'm proud to support the package of measures recently outlined by my two colleagues, the member for Thornhill and the member for Selkirk-Interlake Eastman. They've worked tirelessly on this. And really, that's why this commitment is happening. The Liberal government spent the past year and a half cozying up to Putin and just recently realized he wasn't such a great guy after all. As part of this effort to curry favor with the Russian regime, the Liberals shamefully ordered the majority of their members to vote against my private member's bill, C-306, which would have recognized the deportation of the Crimean Tatars by the USSR as a genocide. In her recent statement on the anniversary of Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea, Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs wrote, and I quote, "Canada is deeply troubled by the politically motivated application of anti-terrorist and anti-extremist legislation, ongoing harassment of human rights activists, journalists, and lawmakers, arbitrary detentions, disappearances, and the persecution of Crimean Tatars and other minorities. We denounce the banning of the Mejlis, the self-governing body of the Crimean Tatars, and have called on Russia to reverse this illegal and immoral decision." So you know what? My private member's bill and the debate around it called attention to all of these issues. I was pleased to have earned the support of all of my opposition colleagues, but the majority of Liberals voted against this. Some went so far as to claim the deportation of the Tatars did not constitute a genocide. That's an absurd claim, supported only by the Putin's regime's biggest apologist, including Canada's former Parliamentary Secretary for Foreign Affairs. While the bare minimum is not enough, Ukrainians are still fighting the battle that began on the Maidan in Kiev, expanded Crimea, and then the Donbass. In the past 3 years, Ukrainians have proven themselves as some of the fiercest defenders of the values all of us say we support. They are fighting for their lives, their families, their hometowns, their liberty. They want to be living in a free country that respects the fundamental human rights of every man and woman. As a friend and ally, Canada has a moral duty to stand with them in their fight. Ukraine should always be able to depend on us. Thank you.